and welcome to a mobile version of Pagan FM. Right now, I am leaving work in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, home of the Jersey Devil, and just a couple of miles from the city of Brothers of Philadelphia, PA. Where William Penn started his great experiment. And I am bicycling home. I've tried to do this recording 3 or 4 separate times right now, on 3 or 4 separate days. And on none of them has it actually worked. Yesterday I tried to do it walking. The day before that I tried to do it biking. Things are getting in the way. This has been kind of a theme for the past few weeks. You'll remember a few weeks ago, I did take my vows. And I think I had one episode after that, where I spoke to Beth Washington about the magical marketplace up in Massachusetts. They had a pretty good event, but again, they also had the No Kings event up there. And then following the No Kings event, we had our Easter egg hunt at the Quaker meeting that I'm a member of. Actually, no, it was the week before that. I was playing on Saturday at a memorial service. Yeah, I don't know, I'm all confused anyways. Anyways, there were a couple of weekends I did not do the show. There were just a lot of things going on. Right now I'm right on top of the New Jersey Turnpike on a route called Route 561. Or the Haddonfield-Berlin Road in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. There's quite a bit of traffic. I'm hoping it's not too hard to hear. But anyway, it's just been, there's been a lot going on. I've been tired. I've been a bit depressed. Part of it is just the anti-LGBTQI hatred that is just running rampant of late. Still a bit noisy. It's going to get a little bit quieter. I am just getting ready to turn on to Burnt Mill Road, also in Cherry Hill. still noisy. Just a few more seconds, the traffic's gonna slow down, and I'll get on this road and be able to talk a little bit easier. Oh my gosh. Okay. Trying not to rush things and trying to stay alive. Okay, here we go. So anyway, yeah, where was I? So yeah, there's been a bit of depression going on, a bit of anxiety. The political climate is really not friendly to the LGBTQI community, especially trans and intersex people. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but last year I tried to get my license in New Jersey, and I was told that I needed a court order to have my gender marker indicate female. I was born with an intersex condition, but my birth certificate said male. Now, New Jersey, the state law does not say that I need any sort of court order. What the state law says is that I just need to sign a piece of paper at the DMV. They actually have a form. So I put up a little bit of a stink and I got kicked out of the DMV. So currently, I don't have a license or a valid ID in the state that I live in. I'm trying to get that changed. I'm also trying to get my birth certificate changed in New Hampshire. That will cost a few $100s, but hopefully I can get that done. And maybe that will take care of my passport and other objections from New Jersey. And hopefully I can get that done before the state of New Hampshire somehow puts a stop to that. New Hampshire has been going a bit crazy with bathroom laws and stuff like that. Part of me says I really shouldn't let all of this impact me so hard. The other part of me says that I've fought this for so many years, and just a few years ago things were going okay, and then one person, one party gets in office, and we've reverted back. Not only even reverted back, it's worse than it was. Because where it used to be, it was just kind of an uneducated status quo. Right now, there's more knowledge, And there's a sense of cruelty to it, and a sense of entitlement to that cruelty, and an actual revelry in that cruelty, and a boastfulness. And I know where I was, back 20, 30 years ago. And I know where young people are. And I know how much it hurts. I am glad right now that the Catholic Church has a pope that understands that people can hurt. I'll never be a member of that church again. But I'm glad that they have a leader that can understand pain and is seeking to diminish it. Sorry, I am going uphill right now, and I still have asthma. So, anyway, this is only part of this, and maybe I'll get back to this a little bit later. But the other part that I wanted to talk about another hill. Regarding this tiredness, this fatigue and depression, and relating that to having taken vows, is that this shouldn't have been unexpected. And as someone who's a little bit more experienced, it's probably something I should have foreseen. And that's because whenever you make a commitment like that, you can expect some sort of shift in your life, some sort of pushback. When you're working in a coven setting or in a group setting, you'll have the benefit of other people to remind you of that and to help you through it a bit. Unfortunately, as a solitary who hasn't really set herself up with a community of people around her, I sort of left myself unprepared. And that one's kind of on me. I'm not saying that's necessarily a horrible thing. It's just something that I didn't completely prepare for. But before I got here, I had spent the last, I don't know, 30 years or so working in a community, and I hadn't really been doing solitary work. So yeah, I wasn't prepared. And I'll consider that a lesson, and hopefully somebody else can learn from that lesson. So I just turned off of Burnt Mill Road, and I am heading down Evesham Road. We're about a little over 3 kilometers into about a 12-kilometer ride. So 3 kilometers is about 1.8 miles. Oh, close to 2 miles now. So 12.5 kilometers or so, 12.3, 12.5 kilometers, 7.5 miles. So now I am getting ready to cross the Cooper River, at which point I will have left Cherry Hill. And I believe at this point I am in Lawnside, New Jersey. There's not really a sign marking it. So this side of the road is Lawnside, and the other side of the road is Summerdale. In another hill. And then a little bit further up the road, I'll get to Route 30. Route 30 is an interesting highway. It runs completely across the United States. It is the first highway, the first paved highway across the United States. And hello. And it was opened in 1926 when the Benjamin Franklin Bridge between Camden and Philadelphia was opened. So the easternmost point is in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the westernmost point is in Astoria, Oregon. And that is just up the hill, a couple hundred yards ahead of me. Some people think this is kind of pointless knowledge. I moved here almost 5 years ago now, and I kind of like knowing the history of the places where I live. And that little bit of knowledge came in handy one day as I was riding one of the local buses. And the bus driver was just going on and on and on about vaccines and the pandemic And right then, we crossed Route 30. So I mentioned a little bit about the history of Route 30, which I thought would be interesting to him as a driver. And it was, and he thought it was kind of cool. And at that point, his entire mood changed because he found something else to be interested in. So another bit of a hill here, and right at the top of this hill is Route 30. And we're stopped at the lights. So right at the corner of Somerdale, Magnolia, and Lawnside. And the light just turned green. So let's get going. So and now we're in Magnolia. I've tried to start a rumor about the township of Magnolia. It has not yet spread. But the rumor is that Magnolia wants to officially banish MAGA. And to do that, they're going to get rid of MAGA from their name and rename the town Noli. That rumor has not yet caught on. And now we're at the corner of Warwick Road. This is another traffic light. There's a few at this end. There will be one more traffic light just up ahead, and that will be at Atlantic Avenue. You can probably hear there's still quite a bit of traffic. We're just passing the Magnolia Fire Department, or Magnolia Fire Company. And this is still Evesham Road. One thing I like is that most of these roads retain their name as they go from township to township. And right here we're crossing a train track, and there's a little Magnolia train station. The train station is no longer used, which I find a little bit of a shame. You'll hear my cycling computer beep here in just a minute. It's got like a little climbing segment, which I am not going to try to compete with. Firstly, I don't have tires that are made for speed right now. I still have my winter tires on the bike. So, speaking of bikes, right now I am riding a KHS Ultra Sport 2, which is kind of like a hybrid slash fitness bike. KHS is a company that became a victim of the tariffs. It's an American bike company who had a lot of their manufacturing done overseas. And unfortunately, it just cost them too much to import their own bikes. So you won't see KHS bikes in the US anymore. One cool thing is that the bicycle land speed record was hit on a KHS bicycle. It was a specially built bicycle. I can't remember the woman's name right now. But she was paced with a race car. Basically, she was kind of towed up to about 100 miles an hour and then let off a tether and then pedaled herself behind this race car up to 184 miles an hour on the salt flats, and then used a bumper on the car to help slow herself down. The previous record was held by a man. This one was won by a woman. There have been a few attempts to try and break that record. So far, she holds it. And it was made on a KHS, which I think is kind of cool. But again, you're not going to get more KHS bikes. It's they're decent bikes. They aren't hugely expensive. Mine, it's a really inexpensive bike. It's sold for, I bought it for about $700 new, somewhere around there, a couple of years ago. Which is a good price for a real bike. And by real, I mean a bike that's worth maintaining, that you can get parts for, that sort of thing. So, like, one of the things that I'll need to do is to replace the forks here. And I can get a set of forks for it. I can't get the exact forks that this one has, but I can still get a pair of forks for it. I've replaced the cranks. I can work on it. And when you get less expensive bikes, that becomes a problem. My other bike is a Liv Intrigue X2, and that's my mountain bike. It's a trail bike. That one's a bit more expensive, and doesn't go nearly as fast on the roads, but it's not meant to. But dang, can it climb. At least trail type climbing. You're not going to use it for long road climbs because it's a heavier bike. But it's meant to take a beating, and it can do it well. All right, another kind of stiff hill here. But biking has become something of a passion of mine. What's going on while I'm riding right now, I do hear the cars, but I also hear the birds. And I can smell the flowers as I'm going by them. You've heard me say hi to one or two people as I've gone by them. And I'm interacting with the world. And it's part of staying connected. One of the things that kind of makes me sad about driving is just how little interaction some people have with the world when they drive everywhere they go. If you think about it, it is possible to get up in the morning, take a shower, get in your car, in your indoor garage, drive to work, park in a parking facility, get out, get to your office or workspace, and never once be exposed to the sun or the rain or the elements or anything. To never have your feet on anything that's natural. To not breathe air that hasn't been filtered. And I just find that really sad. So right now, I'm at, coming up on 8.5 kilometers. I'm not going like super fast or anything today. It's kind of hard to ride fast while you're actually talking. And right now, I just crossed over into a turn lane. This is something that some New Jersey drivers seem to have a problem with. I've had more than one or two yell at me for being in the turn lane. But the actual law when you're riding in the street is that when you're going to make a turn, you do it from the turn lane. So that's what I do. New Jersey doesn't have a law against riding on sidewalks, but some local municipalities do. There is, strangely enough, a law that defines a bicycle by the height of the seat above the ground. So if it's lower than, I don't know, 20 or 24 inches or something like that, it's technically not a bicycle. And I think they do that to define kids' bikes as something else, so that they can legally be treated as toys or something. All right, now making my turn onto the Black Horse Pike, and I am now in Gloucester Township. Just a moment ago I forgot to let you know I was actually in a town called Runnymede, which is the world headquarters of Mr. Softy's soft serve ice cream. And if you're interested, you can go on YouTube and you can find their theme song. That's MISTERSOFTEE. So yeah, I'm on the Black Horse Pike right now. What's the highway number here? Is it 168? And I've got a car doing something strange in front of me, like pulled over in the breakdown or on the shoulder. So I'm getting up on the sidewalk because I don't know what they're doing. And I'll get back on the road in just a second. Passing Gloucester's Citizen Appreciation Park. And the Glendora Fire Station. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about, there have been a number of collisions with bicyclists and motor vehicles lately. One was like, I don't know, a week and a half ago or so. And somebody hit a bicyclist, knocked him off his bike, and then he was hit by another car while laying in the roadway and died. And that was just like a few miles from where I am right now. And I consider myself something of a promoter of bike riding. So I want to talk a little bit about what I do for cycling safety. And firstly, I always ride with a helmet. I mean, there have been a few times where I've actually forgotten it, But if I'm close, I will turn back. And just in case I don't, I've got a spare that I keep at home. So I've got, a couple of helmets. The second thing that I do is I don't wear like earbuds or headphones or anything like that when I'm riding. And I don't listen to music when I'm riding. And the main reason for that is because I want to hear what's going on around me. As I mentioned a moment ago, I do want to hear the birds and nature and things like that. But I also want to hear if there's cars coming up behind me. I've got a good friend back in New Hampshire who rides a motorcycle. And she was involved in an accident this past summer. And she was talking about wanting to get louder pipes on her bike. And I used to ride a motorcycle too. Nothing super fancy. But for me, the same thing applies. It's like I want to hear what's going on around me. And if I had a bike that was that loud, that would be a problem. And it really doesn't help with the other drivers because so many of them have radios that are cranked way up, etc. So yeah, that's the main thing, is being super aware and wearing proper safety equipment. And by the way, I turned off of the Black Horse Pike onto Choose Landing Road. We're at 10.5 kilometers. It's a little under 2 kilometers to go, or just over a mile. So I do want to apologize for not actually having a regular episode out. There are some things happening. A new artist on board. That's the Jamie Wyman Band. And Jamie has a new album. Oh shoot, what is the name of it? I wish I had it in front of me right now. Oh shoot. I can see the album cover, but I can't think of the name right now. But what's really cool is that each of the tracks are associated with a tarot card in her tarot deck. It's not really a full tarot deck. There's 22 cards in the deck, So, sort of like a tarot deck without the minor arcana. And the cards aren't really named the same as the major arcana. So, somewhat similar to an oracle deck. But some really good music, kind of like a rock opera sort of thing. And I'm really looking forward to introducing you to her music. And hopefully I can get my brain working again and we can schedule a time to have a chat with her. Also, Dave the Bard has a new album out, and I'm looking at getting my hands on that and play some music from that as well. And also getting this episode on pagan poetry out. I'm reminded of an album by Bjork. I don't remember if it was an album or just one song. I think the album was called Pagan Poetry as well, but I know she did a piece of music called Pagan Poetry. But unfortunately, I don't like to play music that I don't actually have permission to play. So I won't be playing that on the episode. Would be nice if I could. Maybe I'll try and write her. Right now, I'm heading up the last major hill on the way home. This is about a 4 or 5% grade. Again on Choose Landing Road. As I was here earlier and yesterday, I was just looking up at the sky, right from this very point actually, and looking at the moon in the morning and realizing that there were 4 people in a little spaceship about the size of a couple of minivans just between me and that moon. And they might have been looking down at this earth. Looking really tiny from where they were. And probably looking at every one of the problems that looks so big from where we are. And they kind of look so insignificant from 250,000 miles away. But what matters is perspective. What matters is recognizing that none of us is so important that we have a right to dictate how everybody else on this earth should live. That we have a right to dictate whether other people should live or die. That kind of hubris is utterly insane and inhuman. Anyway, I am just pulling up to my mailbox now. Just told my cycling computer that I'm done this ride. And 12.3 kilometers, that was 7.5 miles, approximately. So again, I'm sorry I haven't had an episode out in a while. Hopefully the audio came out and I can upload this tonight and I'll have something for you. I miss being on the air. I miss having episodes, and I'm sorry this didn't have music associated with it, but I will be getting something out to you, and hopefully Saturday or Sunday. And I miss you, and blessed be.